Good morning. It's about 9:30 this morning, Wednesday morning, and I am here in the sanctuary, and I dressed expecting it to be very cold like it has been because the furnace hasn't been working. I have my coat on, and I walked in this morning and there was heat. And it's warm, and I feel too warm in my sweater and my coat and my scarf and hat. And I thought, these simple moments, these moments of joy, are the moments we have to hold on to when life feels so hard at times. So I thought I'd take a minute to share with you a little what's on my mind and my heart. I have heard from so many lately, colleagues, friends, you all, myself too, family, that this year feels hard. In many ways, it feels even harder, even heavier than 2020 did, that it feels harder. And people are wondering why. People feel exhausted. Energies are depleted. I've heard so many people say, it doesn't even feel like Christmas. How did it get to be this time of year already, and I don't even feel like Christmas? You know what I'm talking about, that feeling that we have, that it evokes. And to be honest, when I came to the church this morning, I came with this expectation that I was going to be greeted with just this cold, unbearably cold, empty building, where once again I can just, in that coldness and solitude, feel the heaviness of all the loss, just the loss that we've experienced over the last almost 2 years in this pandemic. And I was thinking about how difficult it is. This is Joy Week, this is Advent. Week 3, we lit the joy candle. It is not easy to live in a sense in a place of joy when the world and our lives feel so upended and so heavy and so dark, and there's so much. And I think about how the sanctuary isn't heated, and how then I think, oh gosh, how do I even have a right to be upset or worry about that when the real worry and danger is that there are people sleeping out in the cold, in this cold. Year after year we watch it. Year after year we wonder, how long, Lord? How long? But then I had this beautiful moment of remembrance, this beautiful moment where I could walk in and open those glass doors and feel heat. And in that moment, I could be so thankful for all the people. And I want you to be thankful too. I want you to know about the people who are working so hard behind the scenes, because we don't really gather in person much right now. And it can be easy to forget that there are so many in our community, in our First Christian community, who are working diligently, faithfully to serve. To Lizbeth and Kim, who have just been diligent about working on finding the issues around the furnaces, getting heat, making sure things are set up for our cleanup at New Hope, for Debbie who showed up, and Brenda and Judy Kennedy and other volunteers who showed up to help, to Jeb who has gone above and beyond to be here in his off time to try to hunt down loose wires or funky valves, or to figure out what's going on with our furnace. Is it possible to fix it? Are we going to be stuck with a huge bill? I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful to them. I'm so grateful to our prayer team who is every week, they gather on Zoom and pray for each one of us. That's not nothing. I think it's easy for us to somehow believe that, we because we're not gathered in this beautiful building in this space, and we're not able to gather all of us together, we're in this hybrid kind of form where we're half online and half in person, and that it feels strange and new. It's a liminal space. It's an unknown to us. It's easy to begin to believe that we aren't still community, or things aren't still happening, or ministry isn't taking place, and our faithfulness is something lost, but it's not. It's not. It's a beautiful thing. It's when I walked in and felt the heat, and instantly my spirit was lifted, and I remembered what it means to live in joy, to be thankful every step of the way for the smallest things. Bonhoeffer talks about this in the study that we're doing. Bonhoeffer says, if you cannot have gratitude for the small gifts that are in your life, the very smallest things, if you can't notice and be grateful for the smallest things, how could you ever expect great things from God? How could you ever receive anything great? Because you can't even see and be thankful for the small. And so this morning, as I opened the doors to the sanctuary and felt the blast of warm air and just felt renewed in spirit, I was reminded that's where our joy rests. Not in big feelings and joyous and being, because joy isn't just being happy, it's more than that. It's not a state of happiness, it's a state of joy. It's a place that stretches beyond, that no matter how hard, how dark, hopeless sometimes things feel, dreary, that we know we have this joy because we know that God is present, and we can really feel that presence and connect with God fully through each other in all the many different ways that we can connect by simply being grateful for the smallest of things. And in being grateful for the smallest of things, we can receive the great. So I'm grateful for the heat in the sanctuary this morning. I'm grateful for the people who made that happen. I'm grateful for Rachel and all those who have, look at this beautiful, it's beautiful. I turned on the lights so I could be reminded of this sense of beauty and peace and holiness of this place. And even though we might not gather together for Christmas Eve and to celebrate Christmas, we will be gathered online, and we will be gathered in our hearts, in our spirits. We will pray for one another. We will hold each other as we give thanks for the blessing of the Christ child entering our world again, coming into us again. Just as we open the doors and find the heat. It's the smallest of things that we have the heat in the sanctuary, and to be grateful for that, so now we can turn our hearts to the big things. Like, how do we heat our world? How do we offer comfort to those who sleep in the cold? How do we offer light to those who are living in dark? How do we offer peace and hope to those in despair? I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for you, for this place, for this holy space, and for this beautiful congregation.